When it comes to getting a job as a person with a severe disability like blindness, it's all about who you know. That starts and ends with your network. Welcome back to the Disability Hiring Playbook podcast, a mini-series dedicated to helping vocational rehabilitation counselors and their clients successfully navigate today's competitive work environment, source more interviews, and actually land a job in the world that we live in today post-COVID. My name is Tanner Gears. I'm your host, and my goal for you, vocational rehabilitation counselor, is to help you successfully close more cases and help your clients get hired, land the job in a competitive integrated employment opportunity. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, the video version on YouTube will have some additional screenshots and visuals that you might find helpful. So just search for Disability Hiring Playbook on YouTube, or you can find the direct links to our channel on our website at accessibilityofficer.com. That's with two A's, accessibilityofficer.com. Now, in this episode, we're going to be talking about the why and the how your vocational rehabilitation clients should be building their network to get a job and achieve their vocational rehabilitation goals. But why is building your network on LinkedIn such a powerful thing? Simply put, a strong network on LinkedIn will help your clients transition into a whole new industry. Think cybersecurity, contract closeout, bookkeeping, or even digital accessibility. It can open doors for interviews and even directly help your clients get hired. That's the power of a network. And when building our network, we want to think about it in two ways. Building our overall network on LinkedIn, meaning the size of your network or the number of connections that you have. And we want to think about building a strategic network. These are those individuals who can directly help your clients move closer to achieving their vocational rehabilitation goal. It could be anything like getting an interview, introducing them to a prospective employer with a job opening, or even give them a job directly. So the size of your network and the quality of your strategic network, that's what's really important. Here's why we want to focus on our network in these two distinct ways. We're social animals. And from a social proof perspective, you having more connections unconsciously taps into the mind of the person that's receiving the invite to connect, right? If your client reaches out with 5 or 10 or 15 connections, that is not going to have the same unconscious effects as if they reach out with 500 or 5,000, right? It's a social proof thing. Why does this person have so many connections? They must have some value. They must have something to say. What do they have to say? And as you'll learn across the Disability Hiring Playbook, everything builds upon each other in a systematic way that ultimately creates unstoppable momentum for your clients, only making it a matter of time until they get hired, not if they'll get hired. It's just about when. So building a strategic network for your clients gets easier when they have more social proof behind them, meaning that someone of importance unconsciously is going to be more open to an invitation, more open to that discussion, more open to your client's meeting if they have a ton of connections behind them. It's wired into our brains. So building the size of your network, your overall connections, and your strategic network happens in tandem. You don't want to exclusively focus on one over the other, but having a big network will be helpful in getting your clients in front of more big players who also have a big network. Again, everything we do builds upon itself, taking your clients closer and closer and closer to getting hired until they ultimately do. So call your clients right now. Ask them, email them, text them. How many connections do you have on LinkedIn right now? How many connections do you have? And if we go a little bit deeper, we think a little bit more strategically about your client's vocational goal. And again, we'll cover all of this and so much more in the Getting Hired Playbook training program. It is our flagship 12-week instructor-led, fully remote training program that teaches your clients how to do all of this. And we hold their hand as we walk them through. But let's think about your client and their connections, right? Their network on LinkedIn. Strategically, how many connections do your clients have right now with people who are currently working in the field or have the specific job title that your client wants, right? I'll say that again. How many connections does your client have right now with people on LinkedIn who have the job title that they want, the job title that's aligned with their vocational goal? How many connections do your clients have of people who currently work at the same companies that your clients would dream to work for, right? Specific to building your client's network, when coming through the full 12-week Getting Hired Playbook training program, your client will go through a self-assessment of their network, understand the importance of having and growing their network, how to do that, right? And not just be a taker. Learn how to not just be a job seeker, but a valuable connection, right? A thought leader, a peer, and develop an organized action plan that will take them from where they are right now to where they need to go, which is getting hired. So where can your client right now find these connections on LinkedIn? In short, everywhere. The real question is, the strategic part is, what is your client's specific vocational goal? I've already given you some hints on this, right? But this is why learning how to develop a strategy and tactical roadmap, performing self-assessments, etc., is so important. And it's why everybody coming through our program is so successful. It's a foundational component to the Getting Hired Playbook training program. It's because independent living centers nor universities teach your clients this stuff. The result is that you have a caseload of clients struggling with aligning their vocational goals to the most meaningful activities that truly make a difference in whether or not they'll actually get hired. And ultimately, they don't, right? Cases get closed and nobody wins. Okay, rant over. I'm a little bit passionate about this, right? Like I was saying, opportunities to find people are all over LinkedIn. So let's start with some at a high level. Groups. Groups are a great place to find people who are specific or interested in a specific topic. Let's say that your client is in the human resources field. That's their vocational goal. There's so many human resources groups on LinkedIn for your clients to connect with other professionals who are also in the field, right? It could be from recruiting, sourcing, leadership to DEI, culture, mental health, on and on and on. There's so many groups. And the same thing is true for other industries, right? Accounting, cybersecurity, education, you name it, there's groups for it. LinkedIn business pages are an awesome place to find people who work at the specific companies that your clients want to work for. If your client wants to work at a handful of companies, they first need to follow those business pages on LinkedIn and then click on the people link for each of those businesses, right? This is going to show your client all the people working at that company who are on LinkedIn so they can build their network inside the company that they want to work for, right? Is that going to be valuable when they reach out to a hiring manager, when they reach out to a recruiter? You darn believe it. You better believe it, right? LinkedIn events are another great opportunity to find people who are interested in a specific topic that have raised their hands and said, hey, I'm interested in this. And not only that, not only have they identified themselves as being interested in a particular topic, but you also know that they're more active on the program, right? Because they've signed up for an event. While LinkedIn may have nearly 1 billion users on the platform as of this year, only 1 out of 3 users are active on the platform on a regular basis. So when your clients are building their network, right, we teach them how to know who's active on the platform and who isn't. Why? The only thing inactive connections do for your clients is provide social proof through increasing the size of their network, right? The number of connections that they have. So focus on the active connections who are actively conducting business on LinkedIn, producing content, providing thought leadership, providing value, etc., right? One of the biggest struggles, though, that we see with candidates using LinkedIn is not being able to use the search features and filters effectively. So they're unable to find the best connections that will help them get hired sooner. All right, but your clients can search for a ton of things on LinkedIn besides just people, right? Posts, jobs, companies, groups, events, courses, and even schools. But using the advanced search filters is how you really start mining for gold efficiently and effectively on LinkedIn. Let's use an example. I hinted at this earlier. I told you to ask your client, how many connections do they have on LinkedIn? Would it be valuable for your client right now to find all of the people on LinkedIn who have the job title that they want and also live in the same city that they live in? Would that be valuable? What about finding all the employees with the same job title who live in the same city as your clients who currently work at the company your clients want to work at? You can do that with LinkedIn. What about finding their bosses or the hiring managers and connecting with them? These are just some examples, but we go over all of the different ways that your client can use advanced search filters and features on LinkedIn in the Getting Hired Playbook training program. Thinking strategically, though, and because your clients will also be taught this in the Getting Hired Playbook program, once they're connected with people who have the same job title as your client's vocational goal, they can begin to connect with their first degree connections as well. So now I'm connected to Jane, who works at the company I want to work at. And she also has the same job title as me, right? Or as my vocational goal. Now I'm going to look at Jane's connections and start sending connection requests to everyone Jane is connected to at the company that she works at. I see Jane's connected here to the director of human resources, so I'm going to send them an invite. And I'm going to connect with this other person in IT, and I'm going to connect with these VPs who are also working at Jane's company that I want to work at. Searching on LinkedIn is often discouraging to users when they first get into it. They may search for a keyword or two, get a ton of results, but without understanding exactly how to use search filters strategically, finding the right people can seem daunting. Thankfully, in the Getting Hired Playbook, we teach your clients how to do this efficiently and effectively. But let me ask you this. What happens if somebody is not active on LinkedIn? The last time that they logged in is 2 months ago. Maybe this is you. But this is why we teach your clients how to send an email to people's work emails when we find them on LinkedIn. Obviously, we do this legally and ethically with specific tools built for this exact purpose. But if your clients are limiting their outreach, their visibility to recruiters and hiring managers by submitting job applications, you, my friend, you, vocational rehab counselor, are not closing as many cases successfully as you should be. So what do your clients need to do next? First, they need to take a self-assessment of their current network on and off of LinkedIn. Within their overall network, how many of these people are just friends or acquaintances? And how many people could be considered a part of their strategic network? Meaning they should be aware, your client should be aware of how many people do I know right now that could advance my vocational goals, possibly get me an interview or even a job. And who are these people? How many do I know and who are they? Have your clients review their vocational goal and create a list of job titles that are in alignment with their vocational goal. Then have them take that list over to LinkedIn, start searching, filtering down using the location filters so they're getting people in their area, and start sending connection requests. Your clients can then use the advanced post filters feature to find people who are active on the platform, publishing content, and start building their network with those individuals, building that strategic network out. I cannot tell you how transformative the entire 12-week Getting Hired Playbook training program is for your clients. You wouldn't believe it if I told you. And thankfully, there's people actually providing their testimonies stating this on our YouTube channel and on our website at accessabilityofficer.com. But VR counselor, tell me right now, how many job-ready, job-seeking clients do you have right now who are struggling to land a job, who truly want to work? How many clients do you have right now that you know should be getting jobs and you should be closing their case successfully, but you aren't? If that's you, if this is resonating, then I recommend highly the Getting Hired Playbook training program for your clients who fit this description. And the next step to determine if your clients are a good fit for the Getting Hired Playbook is filling out our simple interest form at accessabilityofficer.com/GHP. That's with 2 A's. accessabilityofficer.com/GHP, so we can answer all of your questions and answer all of your clients' questions. So head over right now to accessabilityofficer.com/GHP, fill out that form, and we'll set up some time to talk. But in the next episode of the Disability Hiring Playbook miniseries podcast, we're going to be talking about how your clients need to start building their brand and developing thought leadership to help themselves stand out, get the interview, and get that job. My name is Tanner Gears, and I'll see you in the next episode.